years went by, and, it got, she had a deadline of, I need to become a mother by 40. Well, God's plan and time came, and there she was. She had her role as a mother. She relished that, attending his games, interacting with his teachers, doing the amusement park stuff, birthday parties, etc., the whole gig. She really loved that. And her life gravitated towards God. When she worked with Wendy Richards at MCS, it was a small flame of belief that grew year after year to where it was a natural part of her life, showing me the need to return home to beliefs also. This beautiful woman had my salvation in mind when I didn't. How can you thank someone for that? I think it by doing what she did, you pass it along. The good in Anita's memory. Going so good there. You pass it along, the good. And in Anita's memory, because she loved good food, there's a reception upstairs after the ceremony. And I'd like you to also remember something about Anita. Write it down on the little cards that you got. And then after the service, we'll attach it to a balloon that we'll provide for you. And now lastly, Anita, your smile and light in this world will be sorrowfully missed. You meant so much to so many. Thank you for making my life so much richer and fuller than I could have ever imagined. I will always remember how we were given the special moments to show our love for each other. I love you, Dream Spirit.
I'm going to ask Ski to come in.
I want to introduce myself. My name is Charles Ski Stalinsky. I was Anita's brother-in-law. I knew Anita for probably about 37 years, and I knew Anita about 37 years. On behalf of myself, my family, the Viernes family, I'd like to thank you all for coming, for all your well wishes, for the calls, the texts that have come, the cards, the visits. It's really helped the family a lot through this difficult time, and we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I have to thank Anita. 37 years ago, when my friend Gilbert Kiwi started going out with her, that I got the pleasure of being introduced to Tina, my wife, for now almost 30 years, and I owe Anita that. So, thank you, Anita. All of us that knew Anita, she could be straightforward and to the point. When I received the official news of her passing from Tina, it was about 1:30 in the morning. Like most of you, it was shock and disbelief, not grasping the news, until about 1:35, when there was a jolt in our house. There was an earthquake. I said, "That's Anita. That's Anita saying, hey, you idiot, I'm in heaven now. I'm in heaven now." So yeah, this is really happening. Tina and her mom were a little bit shy, didn't want to come up here, but I wanted to have a few memories that they wanted me to read for them. First one I'm going to read is from Tina. Growing up with Anita was never dull. As a child, she was a prankster who loved to wave around a corner, kind of like you said, and jump out and scare you. Anita was outgoing and outspoken and made friends wherever she went. Our father was in the military for 22 years, so we moved around a lot, moving from one place to another for only 2 years at a time. We had to go to a new school and make new friends, so a lot of times we just hung out together, just the two of us. Anita and I became very close. She was not only my sister, but my best friend. Like other times, though, sometimes we argued, sometimes we disagreed, and one time we even got into an all-out fist fight, just once. It never lasted long. Within minutes, we were talking and laughing again. Anita always had my back, especially when somebody was harassing me. I knew she was right there, ready to take them down. She was always there for me. Anita's an angel in heaven now, but I know she's looking down and watching over me. I know she still has my back. I will miss you forever, my sister, my friend. Anything else you want to say? You want to come up and say anything? And then this is from Tina's mom, Chizuko. I have many wonderful memories of my daughter that will always be in my heart. One of my happiest memories of Anita is when she and I took a trip to Japan in 1992. We went on a tour, visited family, and even celebrated her 30th birthday in the park among the blooming cherry blossoms. Our whole family was there. She took so many beautiful pictures of the cherry blossoms. It was the perfect time of year and the most memorable time I spent with Anita. And then just recently, last year, Anita and her family took me to an Angels baseball game. The thoughts of Anita's kindness come to mind while walking through the parking lot to our seats. There were crowds of Anita took my hand and made sure I got to my seat safely, and she was, as she always did. It was a great game, and the Angels won. and I keep that wonderful memory. Sometimes I will always remember about Anita that she would often come up behind me and give me a big hug and say, "I love you, Mom." Even though I know she's up in heaven with God, with our loved ones, I will love her and I miss her always. Thank you.
And I've been asked to read something else on behalf of, she touched so many different lives. It's hard to get up here for some, but I think this is so cool. And I'm going to even read just this little introduction part so that you can get the context of this that I think would be awesome. Because he said when Matt asked if I could do a eulogy, I just don't think I'd be able to, and certainly understand that, I just don't, and I think I ended up having a meltdown. And I was wondering if Ski could take some of my thoughts and incorporate them in his eulogy and just say something like one of her many, many friends. But I don't expect him to put it all. So I think they came up with just reading the whole thing. And so you know what this is from. It says, this particular friend has known Anita for 28 years. They met at work and became instant buddies. The friend said that Anita was very professional and competent, thorough and versatile in the workplace. She wore many different hats in the company we worked at, tackling a variety of projects. What she loved the most were projects that allowed her to show off her creative talents, which she had so many. She loved to organize things, and she was really good at that. She organized and straightened out so many desks, cabinets, and offices in her lifetime. So listen to what this friend says. When I moved from Orange County, we still stayed in touch. However, because of our busy lives, we didn't get to talk or see each other very often. Our birthdays are a week apart, so we always got together for lunch. She made the drive out to our home for many of my children's birthday parties. Sometimes months would go by and we would not speak to one another. She always was the one to make the phone call to reconnect. Once you were a friend of Anita's, you were a friend for life. Anybody else testify to that? I can see a lot of it. She would just not allow a friendship to die. And I'm so glad that she was like that. Because of her consistency in keeping in touch, I had the privilege of being in her life. As I said, she had so many talents, but I think her favorite was her photography. She took so many beautiful photographs of my family. One time, she even set up a photography shoot in her office building on a Saturday. She invited all of her friends to come for a shoot for free. She wanted to get some more experience in taking portraits. She was there the whole day. The photographs she took of my daughter that day are my favorites. But I think her favorite type of photographs were of nature, of God's creations. Anita was a giver. She would go out of her way to give a needy person a helping hand. Daniel told me one time that they were getting off the freeway. There was a homeless person with a sign. The traffic was moving, so Anita could not stop to give him money. So she made a U-turn as soon as she could, and so she could help him out. By this time, he had moved from the spot on the freeway off-ramp. Then she actually tracked him down a couple of blocks away so she could help him out. I love that. Could not walk by a needy person without helping them out in some way. Another time, Daniel met a homeless person, Chris, in the park he frequents. He came home and told his mom, and Anita immediately made him a plate of homemade dinner along with the care package and walked it over to the park herself. The fact that Daniel had witnessed his mom doing all of these good deeds pleases him so. He actually is so proud to say that he will take after his mom in that way. We will. Anita was also the most thoughtful person I've ever known. She never forgot a birthday. When she would give you a gift, it was always so unique, or something she knew you needed, or something you didn't realize you needed. She would take pictures or videos of any gathering that she would attend, and then later create something wonderful on the internet that others could enjoy. Her life was documented because of her love for photography and life itself. When I moved back to Orange County about 3 years ago, Anita and I immediately reconnected with each other. I was in a really bad place in my life, and she was totally there for me. And so she was generous with her love and support and her time. She was a great listener and non-judgmental. I'm a Christian, but I had really lost touch with God. She led me back to Christ in a very subtle way. My connection to this church has truly impacted my life in every way possible. And I thank Anita for showing me that way. After first Anita asked me to go with her to church, telling me that she would help me, I declined for a while. At some point, I went with her. Not so much for the spiritual experience, but just because I wanted to spend time with her and thinking that maybe some of her goodness would rub off on me. Anita was just that kind of woman. You just wanted to be around her. She was like a magnet. I could trust her with all my secrets. She attracted so many people in different walks of life, and I truly love her and I miss her. God must be so thrilled to have her home again, because He brought so many, not just me, to Him. Hopefully today, hearing this message might save a lot of souls out there. She would be so pleased. Anita's probably helping out by organizing and designing heaven. She's so needed, and I think that's probably true. I just so love that, and I was glad to be able to share it with you. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to share some more with me. But guys, Ed and Pat, would you just share with us again some music, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to share.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. Oh, I'm on your side. When you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll gone, and pain is all around like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me sail on, silver girl, sail on high. Your time has come to shine. Your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your
Could you just share with me the Anita that you knew? And all I would ask is be fairly brief, just so that we can get several in, because I'm just excited to hear all the different aspects of her. Let's start. Just talk to me about the Anita that you knew. We'll just bring your mic right to you. Who wants to go first and bring you up? Right here. She's going to bring your mic right here.
I met Anita 20 years ago in the bowling league. It was weird because you don't think you're going to meet somebody, be friends with them, you know. And we just hit it off right off. I mean, she introduced me to my wife. She was there when we got married. She was there the first day our kids were born. We'd go camping. And she was a true friend. I mean, unconditionally, she was there. We shared the gift of cooking together. It was very fun, you know. Just having her in my life. She'll be my friend till I die. I love you, Anita.
Thank you. Wow, that's good. Anybody else? Right there in the back.
My name's Jim, and me and my wife, Melanie, knew Anita through Walk and Worship Ministry. And I have to say I didn't really know her really well, but I do remember that we had a beach party, end of summer beach party that she came to. And I remember her taking pictures, but it was after the party that she'd sent a link and it put together all the pictures just so beautifully that really captured the event in a special way. And I remember after that, we nominated her our official photographer for Walk and Worship. And then recently going back through some pictures in the ministry, and there was an event where I think Time Magazine came and was taking pictures of us on a trail walk, and I came across a picture of her and Kitty walking on the trail, and this smile on her face, she looked so happy in that picture, just kind of got me right here.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up because you know, we're gonna go out after the service and we're gonna release some balloons in her honor. And when I was going out there checking where would be a good spot, and I saw the walk and worship people going by, and I was thinking at first, well, I hope they'll be out of the way by the time we get there. And then I thought, no, I hope they're not, because she would love that if they were running by and walking by as we were doing that. So anybody else? Share with me in the back there.
Hi, my name is Kitty, and I also met Anita at Walk and Worship. And she's just so sweet. The picture he's talking about, when it was trail time, Anita and I would walk together, and we didn't have to speed up to catch up with anybody. We would just walk and talk, and she was a joy, just a joy, and I'm going to miss her.
Thank you. Anybody else? Very good.